Yes, reverse polarity exists in alternating current or AC circuits. However, in AC circuits, reverse polarity describes a specific state where the relative phase of voltage and current waveforms is reversed. This typically happens when the hot and neutral wires are swapped, or when a phase converter alters the phase relationship between AC circuits. Let's examine the consequences of reverse polarity. Firstly, electrical equipment damage can occur. Devices are designed to operate with a specific polarity. If polarity is reversed, it can damage the device's circuitry. For instance, TV and computers are sensitive to proper polarity. Secondly, motor rotation may be altered. Reverse polarity in AC motors can cause the motor to rotate in the opposite direction. Thirdly, safety hazards can arise. Reverse polarity can create a shock hazard if a person touches energized conductors. Regarding a handyman's potential liability, if a receptacle is incorrectly wired with hot and neutral wires reversed, the handyman could be liable for damages. Reverse polarity creates a dangerous condition that could lead to equipment failure. Although AC circuits don't have fixed positive or negative polarity, reverse polarity can still occur. It is when the phase relationship between voltage and current waveforms reverses. This could have varied effects, including electrical equipment damage and safety hazard. It's important to understand how standard electrical wiring works in North America to better grasp the concept of reverse polarity. In a typical 120 volts AC circuit, there are three wires: the hot wire, the neutral wire, and the ground wire. The hot wire, which is usually black or red, carries the electrical current from the power source to the outlet. The neutral wire, which is usually white, returns the current back to the power source, completing the circuit. The ground wire, which is usually green or bare copper, provides a safe path for electricity to flow in the event of a fault. When an outlet is wired correctly, the hot wire is connected to the smaller slot, and the neutral wire is connected to the larger slot. If the hot and neutral wires are reversed, this is known as reverse polarity. This means the hot wire is connected to the larger slot and the neutral wire is connected to the smaller slot. This condition can create several potential hazards. One of the most significant dangers of reverse polarity is that it can make appliances and equipment unsafe to use. Many devices have a fuse or circuit breaker on the hot side of the circuit. This is designed to protect the device from overloads and short circuits. However, if the polarity is reversed, the fuse or circuit breaker may be on the neutral side, which means it will not protect the device. This can lead to overheating, electrical shock, or even fire. Another hazard of reverse polarity is that it can cause certain types of lighting fixtures to become energized even when they are switched off. This is because the switch is only designed to interrupt the hot wire. If the polarity is reversed, the switch will interrupt the neutral wire, leaving the hot wire connected to the fixture. This can create a shock hazard if someone touches the fixture while it is switched off. Reverse polarity can also affect the performance of electronic devices. Some electronic devices are sensitive to polarity, and if they are plugged into an outlet with reverse polarity, they may not function correctly or may even be damaged. For example, some audio equipment may produce hum or buzz, and some computer equipment may experience data loss or system crashes. Identifying reverse polarity is usually straightforward. You can use a simple circuit tester, also known as a polarity tester, to check for reverse polarity. These testers are inexpensive and easy to use. They typically have three lights that indicate whether the outlet is wired correctly, has reverse polarity, or has an open ground. To use a circuit tester, simply plug it into the outlet and observe the lights. If the lights indicate reverse polarity, you should contact a qualified electrician to correct the wiring. Correcting reverse polarity is a relatively simple task for an electrician. They will typically turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker box and then swap the hot and neutral wires at the outlet. Once the wires are swapped, they will test the outlet with a circuit tester to ensure that the polarity is correct. It's important to note that reverse polarity is not the same as an open ground. An open ground occurs when the ground wire is not properly connected to the grounding system. This can also create a shock hazard, as it eliminates the safe path for electricity to flow in the event of a fault. While a circuit tester can detect an open ground, it is not always reliable. A more accurate way to test for an open ground is to use a multimeter. A multimeter is a more sophisticated testing device that can measure voltage, current, and resistance. To test for an open ground with a multimeter, you would measure the voltage between the hot wire and the ground wire. If the voltage is significantly lower than 120 volts, it may indicate an open ground. Like reverse polarity, an open ground should be corrected by a qualified electrician. Another related concept is a floating neutral. A floating neutral occurs when the neutral wire becomes disconnected from the grounding system. This can cause erratic voltage readings and can also create a shock hazard. A floating neutral can be more difficult to diagnose than reverse polarity or an open ground, as it may not be immediately apparent. However, if you notice flickering lights, appliances that are not working correctly, or other electrical anomalies, it may be a sign of a floating neutral. A floating neutral should also be corrected by a qualified electrician. In summary, reverse polarity is a condition where the hot and neutral wires are swapped in an outlet. This can create several potential hazards, including electrical shock, fire, and damage to equipment. Reverse polarity can be easily identified with a circuit tester and should be corrected by a qualified electrician. Other related concepts include open ground and floating neutral, which can also create safety hazards and should be addressed by an electrician. When dealing with electrical wiring, it is always best to err on the side of caution and consult with a professional if you are not comfortable working with electricity. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to ensure your safety and the safety of others. Furthermore, understanding the basic principles of AC circuits, including voltage, current, and resistance, can help you to troubleshoot electrical problems and prevent potential hazards. Voltage is the electrical potential difference between 2 points in a circuit. It is measured in volts. Current is the flow of electrical charge through a circuit. It is measured in amps. Resistance is the opposition to the flow of electrical current in a circuit. It is measured in ohms. The relationship between voltage, current, and resistance is described by Ohm's law, which states that voltage equals current times resistance, or volts equals amps times ohms. By understanding Ohm's law, you can calculate the voltage, current, or resistance in a circuit if you know the other two values. This can be helpful for troubleshooting electrical problems and ensuring that circuits are operating within safe limits. In addition to Ohm's law, it is also important to understand the concept of power. Power is the rate at which electrical energy is transferred in a circuit. It is measured in watts. The relationship between power, voltage, and current is described by the power equation, which states that power equals voltage times current, or watts equals volts times amps. By understanding the power equation, you can calculate the power consumption of an electrical device and ensure that it is not overloaded in a circuit. Another important aspect of AC circuits is the concept of grounding. Grounding is the process of connecting a circuit to the earth, which provides a safe path for electricity to flow in the event of a fault. Grounding helps to prevent electrical shock and can also protect equipment from damage. In a typical AC circuit, there are two types of grounding: equipment grounding and system grounding. Equipment grounding involves connecting the metal enclosures of electrical equipment to the grounding system. This helps to ensure that if there is a fault in the equipment, the electricity will flow to ground, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. System grounding involves connecting the neutral wire of the electrical system to the grounding system. This helps to stabilize the voltage of the system and prevent voltage fluctuations. It is important to ensure that both equipment grounding and system grounding are properly installed and maintained to ensure electrical safety. In addition to grounding, surge protection is another important aspect of AC circuits. Surges are sudden increases in voltage that can damage electronic equipment. Surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. Surge protectors are devices that are designed to protect electronic equipment from surges. They work by diverting the excess voltage to ground, preventing it from reaching the equipment. Surge protectors are available in a variety of forms, including surge strips, which plug into an outlet, and whole-house surge protectors, which are installed at the main electrical panel. It is important to choose a surge protector that is appropriate for the type of equipment you are protecting and to ensure that it is properly installed and maintained. Finally, it is important to be aware of the National Electrical Code, or NEC. The NEC is a set of standards for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. It is updated every 3 years and is used by electricians and electrical inspectors to ensure that electrical systems are installed safely and correctly. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and equipment installation. It is important to be familiar with the NEC if you are working with electrical wiring or equipment. Now let's dive deeper into understanding how appliances are affected by reverse polarity. Many modern appliances and electronic devices contain sensitive electronic components that are designed to operate within a specific voltage range. If the polarity is reversed, it can cause these components to malfunction or even fail. For example, a TV may display distorted images or may not power on at all. A computer may experience data loss or system crashes. A refrigerator may not cool properly. In some cases, reverse polarity can also damage the appliance's power supply. The power supply is responsible for converting the AC voltage from the outlet into the DC voltage that the appliance needs to operate. If the polarity is reversed, it can overload the power supply, causing it to overheat and fail. This can result in permanent damage to the appliance. Even if an appliance appears to be working correctly with reverse polarity, it may still be consuming more energy than it should. This is because the reversed polarity can cause the appliance's internal components to work harder to compensate for the incorrect voltage. This can lead to increased energy bills and may also shorten the lifespan of the appliance. Furthermore, appliances with heating elements such as toasters, ovens, and hair dryers can be particularly dangerous with reverse polarity. If the polarity is reversed, it can cause the heating element to overheat, potentially leading to fire. It is crucial to unplug these appliances immediately if you suspect reversed polarity. Another potential hazard of reverse polarity is that it can interfere with the operation of ground fault circuit interrupters, also known as GFCIs. GFCIs are designed to protect people from electrical shock by detecting imbalances in the current flowing through a circuit. If a GFCI detects an imbalance, it will quickly trip the circuit, cutting off the power and preventing a potentially fatal shock. However, if the polarity is reversed, it can interfere with the GFCI's ability to detect imbalances, rendering it ineffective. This can create a serious shock hazard, especially in wet or damp environments such as bathrooms and kitchens. To ensure that GFCIs are working properly, it is important to test them regularly. This can be done by pressing the test button on the GFCI. If the GFCI trips, it is working correctly. If it does not trip, it may be faulty and should be replaced by a qualified electrician. When dealing with electrical wiring, it is always important to follow safety precautions. Firstly, always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical wiring. This can be done by switching off the circuit breaker or removing the fuse that controls the circuit. Secondly, use insulated tools when working with electrical wiring. Insulated tools will protect you from electrical shock if you accidentally come into contact with a live wire. Thirdly, never work on electrical wiring in wet or damp conditions. Water is a good conductor of electricity, and working in wet conditions can increase your risk of electrical shock. Fourthly, if you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, always consult with a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to ensure your safety and the safety of others. Moreover, understanding the color coding of electrical wires can help you to avoid mistakes when working with electrical wiring. In North America, the standard color codes for electrical wires are as follows: black is used for hot wires, white is used for neutral wires, and green or bare copper is used for ground wires. By following these color codes, you can ensure that you are connecting the wires correctly. However, it is important to note that the color codes may vary in other countries, so it is always a good idea to check the local regulations before working with electrical wiring. In addition to the color codes, it is also important to understand the different types of electrical wiring. The most common types of electrical wiring are non-metallic, or NM, cable and conduit. NM cable consists of 2 or more insulated wires wrapped in a plastic sheath. It is typically used for residential wiring. Conduit is a metal or plastic tube that is used to protect electrical wires. It is typically used for commercial and industrial wiring. The type of wiring that you use will depend on the specific application and the local regulations. When installing electrical wiring, it is important to follow the NEC guidelines. The NEC specifies the minimum requirements for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. By following the NEC guidelines, you can ensure that your electrical system is installed safely and correctly. Finally, it is important to inspect your electrical system regularly. This can help you to identify potential problems before they become serious. Some things to look for during an electrical inspection include frayed or damaged wiring, loose connections, and overloaded circuits. If you notice any of these problems, it is important to have them corrected by a qualified electrician. This will help to ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system.